Hello again, everyone, and welcome to my craft room at stampinginthevalley.com. I love this card. I used the Blended Bloom. This is a new stamp in the new catalog, and used the Memento ink pad because then we used our Blendabilities. And with this one, I used our, let's see, Rich Raspberry and Daffodil Delight. So I wanted to show you all how to start to use these. And I love this card, and I made it in this style where it opened from top to bottom, and that's what I did in the inside, just a little butterfly punch with our silver glimmer paper, and just a little place to put the sentiment. This is our Blackberry Bliss. Love the Blackberry Bliss. You'll hear me keep saying that. I really like the new in colors. So let's go ahead and begin to make this card. And you know, every time I make another one, I make it a little bit differently. So I folded it in the portrait style way. And this is cut at 8.5 by 5.5. And scored at 4 1/4. And this is the landscape way. I'm sorry. And this one is the portrait style where it opens from bottom to top. That's the portrait. And this is the landscape. Again at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and just fold it in half, make a nice crease. And what I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to turn it so that it's like a book. Okay, so where the one that I showed you opened from bottom to top, this one is going to open from side to side. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the inside of our card done while we're right here real quick. And this piece of Whisper White cardstock, it is cut at 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And I'm just going to go ahead and put some Tombow down. I love to use the Tombow because it does give me that little bit of wiggle room with my paper so that I could get it lined up really nicely. So just a little bit of Tombow there. And I'm going to put this toward the top. Let's go ahead and open that, leaving just a slight little border of the Blackberry Bliss around. Okay, right there, and just press that down. Nice. And then let's see, I had my little butterfly out here. Here it is. And I just put a little bit of Tombow on this also. You could pop it up with a dimensional if you wanted to. I was just going to do this flat. And then I just brought this up and put that right there in the middle. Got a little glue coming out there. We'll let that dry. Then we'll use our remover. Okay, so now on the front, so now we're going to take this and let this dry. Move this to the side, and we're going to work on the front of our card. Okay, and this piece measures, let's see, what did I measure that at? That is 4 by 4.5. 4.5 by 4 is what this piece is to go on the outside of the card. And you know, like I said, we'll bring this back in again, and we're going to use this style like a book. So we're going to adhere that to the top, okay, leaving that just along the bottom. And you can add another butterfly, and I just might on this one. And we're going to use the Just Because stamp with our Blackberry Bliss ink. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. Put our sentiment along the bottom. And these stamp these stamp pads are so juicy that I just want to tell you, you don't have to press it down hard in the ink pad to get, you know, a completely inked up stamp. Okay, so Just Because, and again I'm going to do this upside down. Down and up. Pretty. I love the font on that stamp. Really like. That is from the A Dozen Thoughts stamp set. Got the Just Because. has a lot of nice sentiment on it. Okay, now, that came out nice. Let's go ahead and close this ink up because we won't be using this. And let's see. Move that Tombow out of the way. And let's bring in our Blended Bloom stamp. I like this stamp a lot. It's big. And it only comes in wood. Now, when you're going to use the Blendabilities, you have to use the Memento ink. Okay, so I'm going to turn my stamp because it's a big one. I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to take my Memento ink. I'm just going to ink up my flower nicely, making sure that I get solid ink all around this beautiful stamp. I love the inside of it. Okay, now let's bring our paper in again. And I like to line everything up on my grid so that I know, that I've got a good shot of getting it straight. And come in with this wooden stamp, this beautiful big wooden stamp. Look on either side. I'm kind of eyeballing it a little bit to get it in the middle, and press. And remember, with the Blendabilities, you have to use the Memento ink. Close that up. Beautiful. Okay, so now let's get our lesson going with the Blendabilities. And for this I will sit down. Usually while I'm doing a video I'm standing up. And we're going to work with the Daffodil Delight. And the thing about the Blendabilities, they come in a set of 3. Love them. And they are an alcohol-based marker, and they have a thin line for the thin side of the marker and the thick line for the thicker side of the marker. Today we're going to be just using the thin line of the marker. So you want to always start with the darkest color first, and it says marker dark, and so I'm going to use the thinner side. So I'm going to open that up, and I want to come around, and you have to think, why did they name these things Blendabilities? Because they blend. So I'm going to come around the outside of this flower on the yellow of these, the little, they look kind of, I don't know, rice-like. They're oblong in shape. So I'm going to color each and every one of these in the darkest marker. And it goes really fast. And I really love working with the Blendabilities. I find it very relaxing. I like the color though. My daughter and I sat around one evening and played with these when I first got them to understand exactly how to blend them in. Now see that little bit? I come right around and it's done, okay? So I've done the outside with the darker shade. Now, you have to, with these markers, there's a little trough in there. I don't know if you can see that, but you want to line your marker up and snap it in, because these are alcohol-based markers, so that's why that they're tight like that, so they don't dry out. Then you want to come back in with your medium marker. So let's see, it says marker medium, and on the thin side again, and we're going to open that up. Now when you come in, I'm going to come and do this, the center, more toward the center of the flower in the medium. But when I'm doing the medium, first I'm going to come in and color the medium. Okay. I like to lay the color down on something big like this first. I'm going to try not to shake everything. But now if you're squeaking the marker, you're doing it right. You're laying down enough color. Now, after I have that medium down, I'm going to come back over every bit of the dark that I did with my medium and pulling that color down into the medium part that I just colored. Okay? I love the sound of these. See, and I'm bringing all that color down into that second layer. I don't know if you can hear the marker squeaking on camera or not, but I know that I'm adding enough pressure if it's squeaking, and I'm laying down enough color. I'm also going to show you another way that you can know that you've got it. Okay, is flip it over. If you see it here, you're laying down enough color, you're adding enough pressure. Okay, so now we're going to cap that. I love the way that that's looking, and as it dries it really blends into itself, and I give it a real push because I don't want my markers to dry out. Now I'm going to come back in with my light, and again it says here marker light. I don't know if you can see that, and the thin line, and they're tight, so just open it up. Now I'm going to come in here, and in a little circular motion I'm going to lay the color down, and you can see that it's a little lighter than the other. Okay, and now that I'm going to come all the way out to the tip and pull that color coming from the dark into the medium into the light, pulling the color, blending every bit of the three colors together all around that flower. Isn't that beautiful? Love the effect. Absolutely love that effect. I don't know if you can see that shading going on there. I hope I've got it in camera. I've been working on keeping things in the view of the camera for everyone. So there you can see the dark to the medium to the light, and we pulled the color into it. Okay, now we're going to cap that, and then let's go ahead and open our, this is the Rich Raspberry. Love this color with Blackberry Bliss, you guys. Really, really like that. And so again, we start with, and I like to line them up. Like this is my dark marker, okay, and with the skinny line, and then the medium marker with the skinny line, and then the lighter marker with the skinny line. I taught a card class, so I should have checked my caps. So marker light. Okay, good. Now, there's a few ways that you can use blendabilities when you are coloring and shading. And so let's go through this. On each petal, I'm going to show you maybe just a different little way of doing, you know, some shading. Now, you could take your dark marker, and I like to outline like about 3/4 of the flower. Let's come down here just a little bit, okay? And you could come down and around and outline each and every one of these with the dark marker. Coming in through here. Okay. Let's do a few of these. And again, you can't get it wrong. Stampin' Up makes it that way. So I just kind of follow the outline of the darker line and add the darkest of the Rich Raspberry. Okay? Now I'm not going to do the entire flower. Let me come up here. And I'm going to leave these little spaces here for the absolute lightest light. Okay, and you'll see why. So again, I'm going to cap my marker and go to the medium, and then you're going to come in about, now you're really going to start to kind of shade it in, okay? And now what you want to do, you're going to have a line, a demarcation line between these two colors, and you're going to want to get rid of it. So I like to put my color down first. I like to fill it in. And again, this is the medium color. And you want to see that line, okay? That's normal. Now, You come back with your medium color and just blend it down blend the dark into the lighter of that medium color. And it's okay, come down into the flower a little bit. Just as long as you're blending both the colors together. Pulling the darker color down into the lighter part of the petal. I had so much fun with my ladies at the card class that I just did. We used the Blendabilities. Can you hear it squeaking? That means I'm adding enough pressure and laying down enough color. Now you can see here where I've blended these, but this one is not blended. So I hope that you can see that on the camera, where this one right here is not as blended and it still has that line as the others. And like I said, I hope I'm doing better about keeping it in frame. Okay. So I'm going to come in and bring that in just like that. Love it. Love that look. Okay. Now then, come in with the lighter one. Very simply, I go ahead and lay my color down. And you can really see the difference between these shades now. And I'm going to pick up that outer one there. Pick up that one there. Okay, now we have a lot of lines, so just come back up into the dark, pull it down, because it's an alcohol-based marker. It's going to pull the color with it. And you want to take this, the lighter one, I like to take it now all the way through the entire flower. I love playing with these Blendabilities. They are so much fun, and you can really see the shading coming. And see, now this one I'm not going to pull up into. I want that to stay lighter. You know, so now you have a choice. You can leave some things as light as you want them to accent it in different ways of shading. And if you don't like it, just go back over with the marker and pull the color down into it. And I'll bring this one up and make that a little dark right there. I'm going to come through here. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? So as you can see, as I work around the flower and I continue, and it's not like you're laying down more color and making it darker. The only thing you're doing is blending it that much better. That's why they call them Blendabilities. Look how pretty that looks. There. Love it. Now let's flip it over. Now we know that we've laid down enough color. So as I work my way around, in the end, when everything dries and we're done, this is what that will look like. Okay? That's how that's going to turn out. So what we will do is then I'm going to finish this card off camera. I'll finish that, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it right here on there with some Tombow. Isn't that going to be beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. I wanted to show you the card that I did in my class, and I used the Flower Shop stamp set and the Blendabilities. Isn't that beautiful? Again, I used the portrait style card, and I used the flowering flourishes here and did my little high, oh, what is that from? I think that's from the Dahlia stamp set, and I did that in Blackberry Bliss, and did the green in the Mossy Meadow, and then did Rich Razzleberry, let's see, what's that? Old Olive, let's see, what's the red? Is Cherry Cobbler and Daffodil Delight. So, and there's a few different styles of how they got colored on this, and but for the most part, they're blended. They look beautiful. They came together nicely. I popped them up with dimensionals on here. So, you know, your Blendabilities is not just for a big, large, solid stamp like this one. You can also use it on your smaller stamps and go ahead and punch them out or cut them out with your Big Shot if you've got some dies. So I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial on this beautiful card using our Blendabilities. If you like this YouTube video, please click on the button down here to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you need any Stampin' Up products, please go to my website at stampinginthevalley.com. I'd be more than happy to help you. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.